Are you curious about bodies, pleasure, and possibilities? And what about curious about what others are up to on the planet when it comes to pleasure, sex, and play? Have you considered what pleasure can do for your life, your body, and your bank account? Do you know something magical, delightful, and out of this world orgasmic is not only possible for you, but totally available to you? If you're ready to be the magical, sexual, sexy beast you know you can be, and you just need the tools to get there, you're in the right place. Now, here's the host of The Pleasure Zone, sensual movement artist, relationship and sex alchemist, Milica Jelenic.
Welcome, 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 my sweet, sweet pleasure seekers. I bet you're on the show tonight going, what was the topic she was talking about tonight that she couldn't put on Facebook because it would get pulled? Well, that's going to be all about health and masturbation. So those two things usually don't go together, do they? And masturbation's a naughty word on social media right now. So if you say it, you usually get like spanks on the hand. And I'm all about spank, so I normally would do it, but I'd like you guys to get the information as well. So just know if you are listening and you're like, hey, how often does this show happen? It happens every week, guys, like every week for years. Almost coming up to 7 years now. It'll be in July. It'll be my 7th anniversary. So every week, like unless there's something awfully off going on with me and my body, I'm on. So I'd like you to be on with me too. And what better way to be on than to use our new ICN app? We have an app that's amazing. You can get it on your Android, you can get it on your iPhone. And so what you're going to do is you're going to go to download our app, which is the Inspired Choices Network app. And you can, when you download it, you're going to search it in either for Apple, you're going to search it in where you find all your Apple apps. And then, because I don't have Apple, so I don't search for it. But on the Android, you can search for it in the Google apps as well. And then grab it. Once you've grabbed it, take a picture, a screenshot of that, and send it in to be entered into our latest and greatest contest. We have a contest going on with over $12,500 worth of prizes, and somebody's already won one of my grand prizes, but there are many more prizes to be won. There are prizes that are individual prizes that are valued at over $1,000. So get the heck on there. I wish I could win. I can't. So win for me. So get on there, snap that picture, take a picture of you listening to the app, take a picture of a post, and also post it. Post pictures of you listening to the shows. And when you do that, send that, or also you can send those pictures into the contest. And how you do that is you go onto the inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. There is a contest tab, and all the details for how to enter are on there. So do that now. And you can have 3-4 different ways that you can actually enter the contest. So you can get a lot of different ways that you can have different entries. I think you can get up to like 5 or 6 entries by doing all the things that are asked of you. And this particular contest started on April 17th. Today, if you're listening to it live, is April 19th, and this is going until the middle of May. So you have a few more weeks to jump on. Tell all your friends about it, because there are so many great prizes to be had. And you'll see the prize listings on there as well. So find out all about that. So that is one of the great ways you can listen to us now on the phone apps, which is so easy. And you can also interact with us through the phone apps as well. If you just hop right on, you can come into the chat rooms and ask questions. You can even come and make some calls. Just come and stare at me if you want. There's so many great options. So yes, you can get up to 5 different ways, 5 different contest entries by doing all the things that are listed. And the app for the iPhone app is just called the App Store. So do the App Store. Have fun with that. And I will remind you next week again and the week after, so that you guys can get all of your chances to win in. And tonight, wasn't that fun? And just be fun to like win some stuff from all of the different hosts that are here. We have so many hosts with so many different prizes. So I love it. I love that we are gifting things and sharing our talents and skills and all kinds of gifts with the world. in different ways. And this is just another one of those ways. So head off, find that app, enter that contest, and then just for fun, while you're in the Inspired Choices Network site, you could always come over and check out my host page on the Pleasure Zone, and you might find there are some other things that you can get in on. I have some leaderboards that are up that you can click on for different things. Like you can get if you wanted to, you can always buy my coupons there, but you could also win them if you just follow the instructions for entering the contest. I have some sets of coupons available on there as well. So the coupons are my Sexy Times coupons. You get quite a number of coupons to share with your lover for lots of fun ideas to spice things up. And what else you can do is you can actually join one of my mailing lists, my naughty list, if you like. And in doing that, you also receive a list of things to help you kind of gauge what you like, what you don't like, what you might want to try out. It gives you a kind of an overview so that when you're kind of getting into new things with your lover, or maybe you don't have a lot of experience and not really sure what you do or don't like, this list can really be helpful. It's a pretty simple list. It's not too kinky at all. It's very vanilla, but it also gives you some ideas for things that you might not have tried yet. Different locations, different things to try out. So just get yourself in there and you're going to find some great ideas to freshen up and liven up relationships, because some relationships are just kind of on the die right now. I'm hearing all kinds of things about people who've been in relationships for years or walking away, and maybe you just need a little livening up. Maybe you just need a little masturbation, which is what we're going to talk about tonight, because who doesn't love a little masturbation? Well, I know there are actually quite a few people who don't, but I'm here to say, hey, guys, it's your hand in your bodies. So, hey, if God did not want us to masturbate, he would not have made our arms so long. Isn't that a saying? Well, it is now. So that's what I have to say. As I lay there last night and my back was sore and I was like, oh my God, I just got to sit up a little so I can actually take care of this business. But at the same time, I was like, what about people who don't have long enough arms? And I was feeling for them. But for those women out there who do not have long enough arms, there are solutions for that, my friends. Or if your hands hurt, or if you have even arthritic hands and you just can't masturbate anymore. No, you still can. I promise you. And you don't even have to get like a super vibrator that you have to hold. The panty vibrators are the best. You could just attach it to your panties, and you can get ones with remote controls. And if you wonder what the heck I'm talking about, go check out Sailor Shining Star's show from last week on Orgasmic Embodiment, the show that was on April 19th, where we talked all about sex toys. And I showed one of those on her show with the vibrating panties. So fun. They're a little bit magnetic, so they stick onto the panties and you can operate them from anywhere. And so if you do have any issue with mobility, there is still a chance for masturbation. Isn't that lovely? I love that things are being more inclusive now, and that heck, you can just like, no matter what, you can masturbate no matter what, my friends. So why would we do that? Like, other than to get off because whatever, you feel horny, why else would you masturbate? I don't know. Do you like the face I just did for those watching on video? That was my super sexy face. And that's what I was showing you. So there's like a multitude of ways and reasons we can justify ourselves into masturbating. I must masturbate because I'm like, exactly, bored. If you're bored and you just feel like masturbating. And there are some of the reasons I'd like to talk about today are health benefits. For those of you who are interested in creating beyond even health, but money and all kinds of things, you can always connect with me for my latest and greatest sexual magicism class, which I realize I need to be creating ASAP. So that will be happening. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Peel them, because everybody wants to peel their eyeballs. Why do we say that? Like, who wants to peel their eyeballs? Anyway, that sounds like pain, but it's the saying. So there you go. Keep your eyes peeled. And so we'll be doing that coming soon. So keep keep aware of that. And so for tonight, we're going to be dedicating the hour to the health benefits of masturbation. Isn't that fantastic? So this is not to replace anything that you are doing with your doctor or your homeopath or your naturopath. This is just in addition, my friends. So if I say something tonight like masturbation can help with depression, I'm not saying get off your antidepressants. I'm saying you can add this and see if this starts to change things. Because sometimes you could be to the point where you're so depressed that none of your hormones are actually functioning in a way that you even have even an ounce of horniness. So sometimes you need the chemicals from antidepressants to actually kick things in and get things going. So I'm all for working with both sides of the medical views of things, whether it's biochemical or biophysical. Biophysics and biochemistry, to me, they all have a place. So we're going to look at it from all angles. Heck, half my family are doctors, so I'm not against that whole concept. Well, there is some kind of view that I am, but I'm not. So we're going to look at the energetic. We're going to look at the physical, like what physiologically occurs in a body that would make masturbation something that's beneficial. We've heard rumors. There's things like there's hormones. What do they do? There's actually a lot of hormones that occur that get released. We don't even know from the research, scientific research, we don't even know the scope really of how many hormones are being released, what they're doing, how much they're benefiting our bodies. We have like a smidge of a concept of that. And I think we need to look at it from a few perspectives. So we will look at it from the biochemical, which is where the hormones get released, but then we're going to look at it also from the spiritual, energetic perspective as well, where we can do things in a different way and we can connect with ourselves and the universe in a different way. So that's all going to be another fun exploration today. What we will be looking at too is things like pain relief and like how does masturbation equal pain relief? The funnest thing about this is I was actually talking to a friend of mine who's also a client today, and we kind of joked because I've been saying to her for a very long time, I think you need more orgasms and honestly go masturbate. And she's like, yeah, whatever. And then she was having stomach cramps and digestive issues. And I was like, no, this sounds crazy, but I think you're congested and you need more orgasms. And she was just like, whatever. We've had this conversation for months. And then today she says, you know what? I had really great orgasms lately and my stomach doesn't hurt. I'm like, OMG, I've been saying this for months. Damn it. Anyway, I'm so glad her body listened, and I'm so glad that, her lover was able to work with her on that. So yay, if you're listening, I'm so happy for you. I'm not going to name your name, but I know that if you're listening, you know who you are because it was only a few hours ago. So I thought it was very cool that in fact, that was the conversation for tonight. It wasn't even like, I put that conversation out there before we talked. So there you go. I did not base it on our conversation. But what I love is knowing that masturbation is not just for getting off. There is something dynamic about orgasms. There is something dynamic about having connection with your body that goes beyond just getting off. There are levels to this that we probably have not even an understanding of right now. So that's what I'd like to explore, see if I can get more awareness while talking with you guys. I know you feel like I'm talking to you, but I'm actually talking with you. I'm kind of tapping into what you guys know, what I know, what's available in the universe and going from there. So I would love, love, love if you have any questions. I would love for you guys to jump on in to Inspired Choices Network first. When you're in there, get on our contest. And then if you haven't gotten on the contest yet, well, first get the app, get on the contest during this next commercial break, do all of that. And then when you're finished that, I'd like you to just think about some of the things that you would like to call in and chat with me about. Like, are you having any masturbation issues right now? Like, I can't because my house is full of peoples and I just can't do it and it feels awkward. I would love to talk with you if you are struggling at all with this and maybe you've had that issue in the past and you'd like to resolve it now, or if it's just new for you and you don't really know how to resolve it, connect with me. I'd love to contribute to creating change with you for that. So we already had our first break because why? Because I talk a freaking lot. That's why. And I'm going to talk a lot more, and we were going to get down to the health benefits. So I'd love for you to stay tuned and just go get on that contest like now. Just do it. So you're listening to The Pleasure Zone here on Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back after this commercial.
Are you secretly a voyeur, wondering what's going on in other people's sex lives? What if now is the time for a totally different sexual evolution? Are you interested in people who are pioneers of different sexual and pleasurable practices? Lean in now with Milica Jelenic, where she will entice you and your body to know your own pleasure zone. On the Pleasure Zone radio show with sensual movement artist Milica Jelenic, you'll receive tools, inspiration, and a foundation to allow yourself to receive more in your sex life, and quite possibly other areas of your life as well. Listen for the Pleasure Zone with Milica every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Pleasure Zone with sensual movement artist Milica Jelenic. To participate in the program today, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email, info@milicajelenic.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, my sweet pleasure seekers. I got some fun questions in the chat room and I'd like to address them first. So, okay. So there's two questions, but I'm going to address one. So the one question is, how can masturbation contribute to weight loss? So this is my train of thought on this. So what masturbation does, if we're masturbating to climax, and even if you're not, your masturbation would likely lead to a relaxation state, right? So whether you're getting to climax or not, your body is probably going to start to have a relaxation state where you have increased oxytocin, so you feel better. You have dopamine that makes you have more pleasure. And in those zones of feeling relaxed and pleasurable, what happens is your body is actually able to heal. And when your body can heal, here's a few things that it can do. So once your body is in a state of calm, it will function to do things. It will do things like metabolize food better. It will do things like, so digestion increases, your body has better metabolism, you can relax your muscles as well. So wherever there's tension in your body that you're maybe holding on to can relax. So why is that important? Because if you are under stress, your body will go into this automatic fight or flight syndrome. And there's a few other syndromes that occur when your amygdala is being under like duress and stress, sending signals to your thyroid and signals to your adrenals. When your body is in that mode, it is not interested in pleasure. It is interested in survival, 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 and not necessarily survival in the way of creating babies to have generational survival. This is more like personal survival. What do you do for personal survival? And it's not going to give a crap about metabolism. It's just like, we just need to get through the day. So one of the things I would recommend is masturbation for relaxation in that case. If you're looking for having your body to actually be able to start to lose weight, it'd be to regulate some of the hormones that are going on that would increase weight gain. Also, one of the shows I talked about a few weeks ago, we were talking about phytoestrogens, and sometimes having low estrogen can also increase weight gain as well. So eating more phytoestrogens is super helpful, as well as one of the things that will do increase in estrogen will also increase your libido. So that's helpful as well. So if you have an increased libido, you're going to want to do it more, and that might be doing it with yourself more. And as you do that, that's fantastic. So one of the things I just wanted to check my numbers on, which I did during break, is that you can actually lose between 60 to 100 calories every time you climax. So the average adult is supposed to eat about 2,000 calories a day. So if you're masturbating for like at least half of those calories, isn't that fantastic? Yes, it's your new part-time job. And one of the beauties for women is that we don't have the point of view that we can only masturbate once a day. So lots of women know that we can masturbate as often as people are going out for cigarette breaks. I always wanted to know, why didn't bosses give us like masturbation breaks? I had when I used to work for somebody like 15 years ago, he would go for cigarette breaks, and I would think, mother F, I really wish I could go in the bathroom and just wank off and deal with my stuff, my stress. But I can't, because the bathroom is like right beside the secretary, and this isn't going to work. So that was quite annoying, actually. Like, he had a stress method to be able to do things with, and my easiest, fastest stress relief method is masturbation. Yes, I can meditate, and I know how, to do varieties of meditations, and I know how to do varieties of masturbations as well, as I almost said that first. And isn't that delightful? So, and you can combine them. What? You can like meditate and masturbate at the same time? I know, it's insane. So yes, you can combine that as well. So losing calories is one of them, one of the things that you can do with climax, but also all those hormones like dopamine, oxytocin, all these endorphins start rushing through your body, feeling good. And when you're feeling good, your body can chillax and your body can heal, and your body can heal crazy things. So what I know about my body is that if I have menstrual cramps even beginning to start, as long as I have a few orgasms that day, I will not end up having further bloating or discomfort for my period. Now, if it's a day where I'm super, super busy and I haven't like taken the time out to take care of my body, then I will sometimes go through even a day or two of like total exhaustion, fatigue. Body is just like frustrated and annoyed. And it's actually, my body gets like a sensation of being cluttered. That's the word I'm going to call it. It's like cluttered with energy. And it's also got congestion. It's like, it's all root chakra, sacral chakra congestion. And then masturbation releases that. Not only does it release there, it also releases the energy from my head. So the buildup can sometimes get to the point where I end up with a migraine, and then masturbation will release it. So on the energetic level, it kind of is like this opening gateway that comes from the root chakra. It opens and everything can just flush out and flush up and flush down, and there's clarity going on. So that's one thing that can occur with the energy of the body and masturbation and orgasmic energy. On a physiological level, your body's got signals going and releasing endorphins and releasing oxytocin, so you do get to feel calmer. And sometimes that stress, those headaches that are stress headaches or tension headaches, can be released as well. Can you imagine? I just like have these thoughts sometimes. I'm like, can you imagine if you went to a doctor and you're like, oh, doc, I get headaches. And the doctor's like, okay, first, let's check if you're hydrated. And you're like, no, I'm probably not hydrated. So you deal with that. And they're like, okay, I still have a headache. And the doctor's like, when was your last orgasm? Oh, well, maybe never. Okay, sunshine, this is what you need to do. Can you imagine if we were actually given some, here, we're not going to give you painkillers. We're going to give you this. Unless, of course, you have a brain tumor. In that case, you need to get that taken care of. But the chances are you probably need water and some good old fashioned taking care of your own business, wanking off like a pro. So try those. Those are like key things. Like if you got stress tension in the body, water is number one. Masturbation for me, these are my orders of operation: water and masturbation. And if those two don't do it, then I go on to the next options. There's usually a few things, like movement would be the next one, like doing things outside, like stretching or different things like that. Those are my three go-tos. And then it's like, oh, maybe there's food. Oh, maybe I haven't had like enough vitamins or something that day. So I know that sounds probably insane, but I dare you to try that for yourself, because we do have so much energy that we're holding back in our bodies. And once you can get to build that energy, orgasmic energy. And when I say orgasm, I'm not talking climax, just bringing the energy up, expanding it out, or bringing it up and climax. All of that's good. So, you know, I know that a lot of people nowadays, we hear a lot of people talking about they're going through depression. There's a lot of psychological things that people are experiencing. And my number one thing is go masturbate it out and see what happens. And if that doesn't shift it, then there may be something deeper going on. But honestly, you can masturbate a lot of things out of your body. You can even masturbate traumas out of your body. And I've talked about that on shows as well. So when I first said on the show, we're going to talk about health and masturbation, all of these things, when I talk about the endorphins, the oxytocin, the different, the dopamine, all of these things contribute to a happy, healthy body. So whether it is for allowing you to relax your body, so getting into a deeper relaxed state. Now, if your body's in a relaxed state, is it holding any tension or stress? Very often not. So if your body's able to release tension and stress, do you think it's possible that your body could release tension and stress in areas that you might be holding, we'll call it like pain in your body, right? So if you've got a stomach ache, a backache, leg cramps, I mean, sometimes you need some magnesium thrown in there too, but generally speaking, if you've got all the minerals and stuff going on in your body and you're just got some congestion happening, what can you do to release it? And our bodies are so freaking dynamic. Remember, I say this over and over. We were created from somebody having a climax, and likely your father had an orgasm. Maybe your mother did too, if she was lucky. But we are created from orgasmic energy that gets transferred out through a climax into the ova and the sperm that creates the zygote that creates you. So all of that is an incredible, massive amount of energy. If you consider all of the energy that comes out from that source of orgasm to contribute to your creation, that's a massive amount of energy. And then just if we had to calculate it, I don't even know what we would calculate it as. I don't know if anybody's ever calculated it, although I do think there was Raymond Reich, not Rife Machines, but the other Raymond, the one who created Oregon, or not created Oregon and Organite, but recognized it as a massive contribution on the planet energetically, creating Oregon generators. Those are orgasmic energy generators, and those are life-giving force energy generators. These are powerful, powerful generators of energy. You can make them yourself. You can buy them, create them. I had extras that I was selling, but I'm all sold out right now. But you can always connect with me if you think you'd like an orgasmic generator, because I put a little bit of me in them too. So that's kind of fun. You have a little bit of my orgasmic energy in my Organite too. So, oh wow. So somebody in the chat room is actually right now next to a pile of Organite. That's pretty freaking cool. I love it. This stuff is an amazing generator of energy. So how fun it would be to actually make your own, that could be a fun class. Make your own Organite with your own orgasmic energy infused into the crystals, putting them into your body while you have an orgasm. Woo! Very sexy. So just a thought. If you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, PM me, I'll let you know. This is not a show about Organite, so I'm not going to be talking about that. Although I did do a show several years ago about, I think I did one called like crystals and sex or something like that. And I talked about that in that episode. So magic orgasms, what can you do for us? And if they can get our bodies to relax, in a relaxed state, what can we do? We can function better, we can sleep better, you can fall asleep faster, because your body will actually sometimes too have like a surge of energy and just release whatever is built up tension wise. So if you are having sleep issues, if you are having pain issues, if you are having confusion, depression, honestly, I don't have a reason for you not to masturbate. Pretty much anything that I can think of may actually have ease up or have change through masturbation. I'd love you to throw something at me that I might not have any idea. I'm even thinking, like, if you broke a bone, would that help? And I'm thinking maybe it would. It might actually contribute to bone healing. I have not tried that yet, but I encourage you to try it. My dad broke his rib last week, and maybe I'll call him up and go, Dad, have you tried wanking off? He'll think I'm insane because we have weird conversations. And that only happened since I was 38, when he decided I turned into an adult. Prior to that, I was not an adult. So, but now I might actually be able to advise him, Dad, you might be able to heal those ribs with a little masturbation. Not really sure, but I'd love to see the results. So I don't want to see the results of the masturbation. I want to see the results of the rib healing. I just want to be clear on that. All right. So we are going to talk more about healing and masturbation. What can it do for you? Why would you do it? Where did they even think of this idea to begin with? So we'll talk about more of that. And in fact, I do have some little historical facts to share with you that I've shared many times, but I'll share again. So you are listening to The Pleasure Zone here on Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back after this commercial.
Are you secretly a voyeur, wondering what's going on in other people's sex lives? What if now is the time for a totally different sexual evolution? Are you interested in people who are pioneers of different sexual and pleasurable practices? Lean in now with Milica Jelenic, where she will entice you and your body to know your own pleasure zone. On the Pleasure Zone radio show with sensual movement artist Milica Jelenic, you'll receive tools, inspiration, and a foundation to allow yourself to receive more in your sex life, and quite possibly other areas of your life as well. Listen for The Pleasure Zone with Milica every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Interested in masturbating for money, copulating for consciousness, and pleasuring on purpose? 21 Days of Sexual Magicism with sensual movement artist Milica Jelenic is an exploration of tools, processes, and actions that you can use to create more for your life, your body, your money inflows, and so much more. Graduated learning for all levels of interest. Learn at your own pace via video classes or join the yearly live class. Take a peek at www.milicajelenic.com.
This is The Pleasure Zone with sensual movement artist Milica Jelenic. To participate in the program today, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email, info@milicajelenic.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, sweet, sweet pleasure seekers. Tonight we're talking about the health benefits of masturbation. Yes, what you could do for healing your body through masturbation. So where did people come up with this idea? Well, I think a lot of us are super creative individuals. There has been, when we look back, if we go way back into the teachings of the Vedas, where they would talk about things about regarding lessons about energy and chakras. And so we're looking at like 10,000 years ago, written information that is in Hindu scriptures. That's probably where we're going to find the original information on how and why orgasms can heal your body. So the other day I was listening to a talk with Margot Anand was in the talk, and Margot Anand was the author of sexual ecstasy, the art of sexual ecstasy, one of the first books on bringing sort of tantric concepts to Westerners. And her book is phenomenal. It's one of the very first sex books I ever owned. And I loved it from the moment. It actually created a breakup in my relationship at the time because I was so in love with her concepts that I couldn't understand how to have sex any other way other than the way that she was describing it. So it created a bit of havoc there. But it's all good. It created a lot greater for the rest of everything else in the universe as well. And one of the things Margot was talking about in her call the other day, she was on a series with Sacha Stone. If none of you know who he is, he's doing something called the Lazarus Initiative, which is getting different energy on the planet to bring more joy on the planet, to create some change on the planet. And Margot talks about tantric energy, which is like using it's channeling your sexual energy for different purposes. Basically, that's, I'm going to summarize it, and feel free to edit my summary on that, whoever is a tantric expert. I'm just giving my summary from my point of view. And the concept is that we can utilize our sexual energy for many things, and that our sexual energy is not just for orgasms, it's for like heightened awareness, and for also for engaging in deeper connections and raising our vibration. So how do you raise your vibration? By going into your crotch, right? Well, part of it is to have very conscious masturbation. And how do you have conscious masturbation? One of the things you can do is, before you masturbate, you can actually ask your body what it requires and desires through your touch. So you're not just going for a wank to just wank it off and like get it over with. You are going in with a sort of a divine purpose, we'll say, for that. So you could have a sort of an idea or a concept that, hey, okay, as I'm masturbating, I would like to create and generate a greater business. I would like to create and generate more health. I would like to create and generate the body that I feel is the most sexy. So utilizing that energy, because it's such a potent energy, to create whatever you would like. Now, if you need more info on that, you're going to have to jump into my sexual magicism class that I will have coming up, hopefully in the next few weeks. I will have some more info for you guys about the start date on that. So I mentioned this stuff with Margot and Nan because there is something very key, that we can create a much higher vibration through masturbation if we choose to, and we can also create a much lower vibration. Now, it depends on what we're engaging with and engaging in. If you're engaging in like violent porn, that is harmful not only for the people that are involved in the porn, but it's like harmful for your psyche, because all you're seeing are images of violence, and now your body gets turned on by violence, which, as long as it's consensual, non-consent, that's different. But there is porn out there that is basically rape on film, right? So I'm talking the stuff that is so extreme violence that is not consensual at all. And if you're watching that and enjoying that, there is something that's going to affect your mind, and it's a much lower energy than anything that involves consent. Consent goes to another level, and then we're talking about union of like beings, you know, feeling like super connection between bodies and beings, and having higher elevated masturbation, as well as like an elevated sexual connection as well. So you can do that through so many different ways, and I've talked about a lot of them on the shows. So when we bring it down to this, though, how do we actually operate at a super vibratory level that our bodies will heal? One of the greatest healing tones is a vibration that's called frequency 432. And I'm not going to do an entire show about this. I've heard many people talk about vibration 432. You can ask for this, like to vibrate at the frequency of 432. I believe it's hertz. And just ask your body to have that energy while you engage in self-pleasure and see what occurs. I have not like any evidence that you actually do vibrate at that level, but why not ask and find out, right? What have you got to lose? It's an experiment in a vibration that is a healing vibration. So 432 is like a level where it's going to heal your body. There's so much information based on that. If you want to know more about why that would work, you can go listen to some work by David Sarita. SEREDA. He's fascinating and he loves talking about the frequency 432, and he's way expert in that. So go have a check out on David Sarita. So there are so many different ways that we could masturbate. So how do you masturbate and meditate at the same time? Like, what kind of crazy people do that, right? And yes, I was being asked to create masturbation meditations, which I have about 7 or 8 that I have on a list of things that I'm going to create that will be in my shop. And masturbation for meditation is one of them. It was requested by a friend of mine several months ago, and I didn't get to it yet. So I'll have to apologize to her for that. And I'm sure she'll, when I talk to her next, I'll be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. So, so she'll understand. So those will be, those are in the works. So frankly, I had a little bit of like a weird thought on them, and then I don't know, I got distracted. So I do still have them on my to-do things to offer. So what would it be like to just be in the zone? Whether you're listening to meditation music, well, there's a lot of it out there. You can listen to higher vibration frequencies that would actually do, or even like a chakra type meditation while you masturbate. There's no reason why you can't do that. You can do a lot of different things that will raise your vibration, shift your energy, and start to clear things on an energetic level. And as much as it may sound really woo-woo and weird, that's cool. It can go woo-woo and weird, but there is an actual physiological response to relaxation where your body can start to heal. If you look at animals, for instance, most animals, when they are harmed or hurt, will hide. Well, why? Because they're smart. They actually they find a place where their body can rest to heal. And they'll often even shake to let their bodies release trauma. And what do? We're humans. We try to control everything and pretend like it didn't happen. So we'll not shake. We don't want anybody to see that our bodies are terrified. We will do things like be out in the open and try and function in our day because we're trying to like be smarter and better, and I can get through this. Or sometimes people play the opposite and play sick, but they're not actually sick. So just check and see if your body just requires some rest, and take it from the animals out there. They're wise. They get it on. They have some rest. They have some food. They play. They know what they're doing. They're doing all right. They're surviving. You know, even through extinctions, there's still animals on the planet that are still surviving. So again, the question is like, why would I waste my time meditating when I could, or why would I waste my time masturbating when I could just go to the doctor and deal with this? So one of the reasons is, heck, I'm living in Ontario right now, and it's not that easy to get around. And there is a lot of places where you just can't even get appointments. So I'm giving you some alternatives. And some people are just afraid to go into doctor's offices these days. So if you are, try these things first. Water, I know, it's weird. Your body needs it. And different minerals, your body needs them. And masturbation, what? It's like a mineral. I tell you, people, it's like a mineral and a vitamin for your body. Your body actually needs it. So there are definitely people out there that I know who are like anti-masturbation, but I bet you they're not listening to this show unless they're listening to criticize. And you go find your criticisms up the yin yang and have fun trying to rip me apart a new one for this one, because there is no way that you can deny that masturbation is good for you. So it just is. You're not going to grow hairy palms like we were told. You're not going to have other things happen to you. Now, the fun thing is I'm going to give you a tiny bit of historical factations on this one. I just made that word up, factations. Let's look at the past where women were masturbated for hysteria. Doctors prescribed it. This is like the mid-1800s, Victorian times, when everything was very naughty and so wrong. But the Victorians masturbated hysteria out of their system. And frig if that didn't work. Well, some of them just wanted to actually be in asylums so they could be masturbated, let's face it, because there weren't a lot of toys available for the average woman in her average everyday life. You'd have to be a fairly rich woman to be able to afford the services of a doctor to masturbate you with some of the latest and greatest steam vibrators that were out there that were operated by like two men and a doctor. It was some hardcore stuff going on. And between that and, women, it was hysteria was still going on for quite a while. Like we're talking into the early 1900s. There was a very stern approach to like women who were not happy, and they needed to be masturbated. And God, why aren't we bringing that back? It seems insane. And a lot of us laugh at the fact that this happened in history, but I genuinely look at this and go, they were onto something. What have we forgotten that was true? And maybe we do need some sexy doctors out there to assist us. And that would be so great. Oh my God, how many of us would line up for the sexy doctors to masturbate us? Frig, I'd go to doctors then. So hint, hint, nudge, nudge, doctors. So if you're looking for jobs, hysteria is on the rise, and we all need to go get masturbated. Wouldn't that be fabulous? Boys too, whoever wants to be masturbated, why not that too? We've only ever regarded it as a woman's problem, not having enough satisfaction. And then women who needed to masturbate a lot also had psychological issues, so they needed to be put into asylums. So you couldn't win if you didn't masturbate. You couldn't win if you did it too much. Either way, you were screwed as a woman. You were going to an asylum. But if you were lucky, you had hysteria and you were going to get masturbated. So that was probably key. Try and have hysteria, peeps. So it's all about your goods, right? So getting them taken care of. Crazy times. I am past my next break. So take a little think about that history thought and see where you'd like the future to go. Would we like it to go to be able to go to doctors for masturbation? Why not? Or if they could prescribe us vibrators, wouldn't that be fabulous too? Get this latest and greatest vibrator, and it's going to be covered under your health insurance. Woo woo! Anyway, that would be so awesome. So you're listening to The Pleasure Zone here on Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back after this commercial.
Are you secretly a voyeur, wondering what's going on in other people's sex lives? What if now is the time for a totally different sexual evolution? Are you interested in people who are pioneers of different sexual and pleasurable practices? Lean in now with Milica Jelenic, where she will entice you and your body to know your own pleasure zone. On the Pleasure Zone radio show with sensual movement artist Milica Jelenic, you'll receive tools, inspiration, and a foundation to allow yourself to receive more in your sex life, and quite possibly other areas of your life as well. Listen for The Pleasure Zone with Milica every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is The Pleasure Zone with sensual movement artist Milica Jelenic. To participate in the program today, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email, info@milicajelenic.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, my sweet, sweet pleasure seekers. So we're in the last segment of today. And just to give you guys a quick little recap, orgasms, masturbation, phantasmo. What do? They increase endorphins in our body like oxytocin and dopamines that help your body relax, help your body feel happy. And then what? Your body can heal. That's the simplicity of it, right? Getting right down to the nitty gritty. So what can your body do when it's relaxed? It can sleep better, it can metabolize, it can have more joy, it can reduce pain, it can reduce inflammation. What? Those are most of the things under the list of what causes issues right now, right? So let's get our hands down our pants, like right now, hand in the pants, just go for it. And if you are like listening to this and you're like, I really want to do this, but I really feel awkward and weird, contact me. I can walk you through this, my friend, because if masturbation is new for you, I get it. It might be weird, and it's okay if it's new to you, because guess what? We have been so trained to think this is so wrong and so bad that I know a lot of people that are my age or older or younger who have never in their lives masturbated and have from day one, even the thought of it, they thought was so wrong, bad, and naughty. And I'm here to tell you, it's your body, it's your choice. You get to discover your body before anybody else does, and hope to God that it is you that discovers it first. And if it hasn't been, this is a time that you can actually go back and start to heal it. I've talked about also on this, on the pleasure zone, I've talked about healing traumas through masturbation as well. And it gets a little weird and a little funky, but you can heal things from trauma levels in your body as well, if you're willing to kind of get into the deep, dark, and nasty thoughts that we have and start to change some of the stories that we have, because fantasies are stories too. And if you can get into a fantasy where everything that you have felt is lacking, like if you feel that what's lacking in your life is love and support, then you fantasize and bring that energy into your masturbation. If you feel like you are depressed, if you feel like you are, you have no motivation, if you have no concentration, masturbate to motivation and concentration. It sounds weird, but these are the energies that you can actually utilize. You can bring them into a fantasy where maybe you are having a scenario that concentration of a clitoris or concentration on a penis or concentration on a nipple is so intensely erotic that your body can shift that, or that having your body concentrated on so much shifts an energy for you too. My fantasies are weird, wild, and wacky, and some of them are literally just like that. Concentration on a nipple or fascination with different things. Why? Because that is the energy that my body requires at that time to heal whatever issues are coming up in my life. I absolutely use masturbation for healing, not only on a physical level, but on an emotional and psychological level as well. It has been a massive contribution for me to heal traumas in my life. It's been a massive contribution to heal things like anxieties as well, along with a lot of other tools that I'm not going to negate. I absolutely include that it's been a multifaceted journey. And masturbation has been with me since probably in utero, but I remember since I was 4 using it as a tool for relaxation. I also, at the age of 4, know that I used it as a tool for helping me feel calm in an environment that was absolutely insane. I used it so that I could feel more connected to myself. I used it so that I could do some escapism because I was in an environment where my parents were fighting all the time. And I used it to be able to dream of a better life. And for me, some of my fantasies have literally been about creating a different reality and about creating a life that might be like a business that I would like, or and it's not your standard kind of masturbation, although I do have quite some of the standard ones too, but most of them involve something that will be a career in the future. It sounds weird and wacky, and I'm telling you that there is validity behind it because I have seen my life expand. I've seen my business expand. I've seen my body heal and the traumas in my body heal, along with like the different psychological traumas, that I now feel like I have more of a sense of self-awareness. And then when the trauma energies are present, they don't affect me the same way that they did. The same triggers don't affect me the same way that they did. Masturbation is effing magic. And I absolutely encourage everybody to try it. If you don't really want to touch with your own hands, there are so many tools you can use, whether it's vibrators, dildos, you can get, guys, you can get like masturbation sleeves. If you want to add a little fun to it, bring in a friend, bring in a lover to masturbate for you. Show them maybe what your body would really like is an audience to witness your beauty, your majesty, your magic through masturbation. I think it's one of the most beautiful things to witness in a person is their vulnerability through masturbation. And I don't think of it as pornography. I think of it as a way to actually connect with another person so that you feel and you can be part of the fantasy, that you are the fantasy, and you're contributing to creating a different reality with them through masturbation. Like they could be fantasizing about their business and you're involved and you're like co-creating with them, which is a beautiful thing. I have a lot of shows lined up in the future. I don't have specific dates for them, but I do want to let you know that I have some people in my roster, like Danielle Carter, to come on, as well as Alan Jones. They're pretty
Thank
fun,
you for
so stay
listening to
tuned
The
in.
Pleasure Zone with sensual movement artist Milica Jelenic. The Pleasure Zone returns next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have the best week of your life by choosing to be turned on and tuned in to your body.